the best day ever, and I'll tell you why. 1, this guy's back. 2, Sunday Smokies. And 3, we got sweet potato. We have quite a bit going on at the Tandler backyard homestead today. We've got 3 chickens in here doing good work, turning over the garden. We have 2 chickens who have decided to escape, and I think our sweet potatoes are ready to harvest. We need to cover the cardboard with soil and stuff. And I need to harvest okra, and I need to figure out how to cure sweet potatoes apparently. Wasn't expecting to have to do that today, so here we go. All right, chickalees, it's time. Time to go back in your house. Yeah, I know. You said it's about time, Mama. We've been working all day. Huh, you've been working all day? You ready to go inside? Ready to go in the chickalee house? That was super annoying. So, okay, we're back by the sweet potatoes, and we're gonna go ahead and get these harvested, I guess. So, this is stressful because this is like months of work. They've been in the ground for like over 100 days. So I really hope everything goes well. Yeah, here we go. So I guess how I'm gonna start is trying to get these vines out of here. My pruning shears got rained on. Now they're rusty, but it's no big deal because these plants are coming up. Big old pile of vines. Kidding, they don't go in the fridge. But yeah, that's my sweet potato harvest. It's weird because some of them are really big and I'm glad I harvested them when I did, and some are not so big and I feel like I could have left them longer. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm grateful. You can't get me down. So next steps for the sweet potatoes are to let them sit just like this. Just gonna leave them alone for like a few hours, and then I will probably cure these in the garage, because to cure them you need 85 to 90 degrees and like 85% humidity. So from the workouts I've been doing in the garage, that sounds like exactly what the garage feels like. So I'm gonna put them in there and they will sit for maybe like another week, and then they should be cured. And then for storage, you actually want to store them cool. So our upstairs is much cooler than the downstairs. We keep it at 70 upstairs. So honestly, I am probably going to store them either in the guest room or the guest bathroom because we don't really have visitors. That's where they will live until we go up there to grab them to eat them. So don't eat sweet potatoes straight out of the ground. I mean, you can, you're not going to die, but they're not going to be sweet. So it's just going to be like 4 months of wasted work. I planted these things in June, and now it is September 1st and we have harvested. And then there's a ton of vines here. You can see all these vines, and there's another pile just as big next to the other side over there. So sweet potato vines are actually edible. Who knew? I didn't. So if you're ever, I guess, in a survival situation and you find sweet potato vines and you know that they're sweet potato vines and not something else that could kill you, and then you've eaten all of the sweet potatoes, so now you're out of sweet potatoes, still in a survival situation, you can in fact eat the vines. So fun fact of the day with Jess. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna load up my little wagon, my whittle wagon, with sweet potato vines. I'm gonna go drop them into the in-ground garden and then let the chickens eat those tomorrow and stuff, and they'll add to like the composting thing that I have going on over there. I will probably harvest some okra and fill up this garden bed with some more soil because the soil level has definitely dropped since we started. But as I was digging for sweet potatoes, if you watched my video on how to like fill these garden beds for really cheap, you'll know that I put a bunch of like decaying logs and pine cones and all sorts of stuff in here to kind of like fill up the space and give some drainage. A lot of that stuff's starting to decompose, so I thought that was pretty cool. I dug up some pine cones and like some old sticks, and I think I can actually show you. Okay, so right here you can see like this is like a big log here, but you can see like the shards of stuff coming off because it's really starting to get decomposed in there. So the garden beds are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and it is definitely time to let this soil rest. I found a few chitting potatoes, the purple potatoes from earlier this summer. I found some in the bed, and I actually think I'm going to transplant them to some better soil and just see how they do. Even if they die, like I wasn't counting on finding them anyway. I already dug them up when I dug up the sweet potatoes. So I have my handy dandy wagon, and now it is time to load up the vines and move them to the garden. Sorry if I'm making a super ugly squinty face during this, but it's so bright out here, y'all. And the gag is how empty that garden bed looks. Ugh, my sweet potato monster was like so beautiful and luscious for so long, and now it's just gone. And I really need to let that soil rest, so there will probably be nothing to replace it. It's so sad, you guys. It's just a travesty. It really is. Ah! Okay, we just need to get this bird netting like 85% out of the way. Oh my god. Oh my god. The chickens are going to be gagged tomorrow. They're going to be so excited. We're just going to start tossing vines into the garden. Everybody say hello to my camper van over there. If you're in the market for a camper van, hit me up. We're selling it because she's only got 2 seats and we're now 3 people. So she's got to go. I wonder if any of these are just going to end up growing like surprise sweet potatoes next year. Knowing my luck, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. Now this one, and take that. Nice. Oh, the chickens are gonna love this. So many bugs are gonna crawl in here tonight thinking this shit is sweet, and then the girls are gonna come out tomorrow and just freaking burn it to the ground. It's gonna be a real show. Okay, friends, I had a genius idea. I have these chitted potatoes here from the store, and since I'm going to transplant some of those other potatoes anyways, might as well plant these ones. And we're going to plant it over here because this soil's been resting for a while and I'm more confident in it. But first we're going to talk about okra. I know I need new garden shears. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. But this is how big this okra is. It's like maybe a bit bigger than my thumb. This is when you want to get them. If these get too big, I have heard they get a little nasty. So we're going to get these at the right time. And they look like about the size that you would get from the store, so I kind of trust it. And I'm wondering if okra is one of those things where like the more you harvest, the more that just starts growing. That would be really sweet. So we have a grand total of 5 okras. I've really been slacking on harvesting tomatoes because I haven't been eating them fast enough. So I've just been waiting too long. And then I'm like, oh, dang, a bug got to them. Better give them to the chickens. Ba-dirt, ba-dirt, ba-dirt. I actually made a salsa the other day that was pretty good. But I didn't have any tortilla chips. All salsa, no tortilla. It's me. Title of my memoir. I got a lot of chicken tomatoes over here, not a lot of... I need to tear this damn thing out. Holy moly! Okay, we're moving this party over here. Huh? You can pick some for me if you'd like. The lad doth protest. Interesting. No, that's a poblano that got mixed with something red. So if you missed any of that grade A banter, I'm sorry, but my phone got too hot. But we have tomatoes, and we have okras, and Jordan has peppers over here, and we're letting the sweet potatoes cure. Dropped a frosty beverage in the garden, and that is it for now because Johnny's crying and I have to go get him. Oh! Change plans. Rain is supposed to be coming down in like 4 minutes. You can see she's a blowing out here. So what we're gonna do is collect our taters, and we're gonna put them on the same grate that the sweet potatoes are on, and then we're gonna move the whole kit and caboodle into the shed. So hopefully they'll still cure for like a little bit. These are already starting to scab over though. You see that? That's the scab. So it's fine. Everything's fine. We just gotta move. And then, I don't know, I guess once the rain stops, I can plant these things. It just looks like it's really gonna come down. A few days ago, it was coming down literally sideways. It was friggin' bananas. But yeah, we definitely gotta hatten down the batches over here today. Oh, and I need to close that compost up too so it doesn't get wet again. Because I've just been at war with wet compost, what feels like the better part of the summer. Ugh! It's like every time I get it dry, it freaking dumps rain. Like something annoying happens, so. A little stomp. And then we'll put it under here. Give it a little extra protection. Ka-chow. I am the princess of potato. My genius idea, so I don't want these like just sitting on the ground, is I'm going to put them on top of these wheat straw things that I haven't used yet. Boom! So they'll still get a little hint of airflow. The weather is what it is. Next time, check the weather before you go harvesting sweet potatoes. But you know what? It's because I found that sweet potato just sticking up out of the ground. Wow, I literally got that done in the nickel and dime of time. Because it's raining already. I guess this will be another like 2-day vlog post. Probably come back tomorrow, plant, do whatever. Okay. Good morning. It rained a little bit last night, but I think my potatoes had like sufficiently scabbed over before that happened. These feel pretty good. They're doing okay. It's gonna rain again today. So I'm gonna take advantage of the overcast, kind of cool weather to go ahead and plant these. And then I was looking at some cauliflower, I think broccoli and cabbage, and those take 70-ish days to be ready according to the package. So am I crazy or do I have time? I feel like I might have time. I've really struggled. So those plants come from, I guess, the brassica family, and that's like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, like those types of vegetables. And I have struggled with brassicas. So this, I think, is a cabbage plant that was really struggling in the garden bed, but Jordan did not want to give up on it. So he was like, okay, you know what? There's like a hole in the ground here already. Let's just go ahead and plant it there and fill in the hole, and, you know, we'll see if it survives. And you can see that it has survived, and it's actually grown. Like, there's quite a few leaves on it. It's a nice big plant. But to be fair, there ain't no cabbage. And so that's kind of how it's been. And then I tried to start some brassicas indoors. If you're wondering why I'm walking back and forth, I'm just bringing all the potatoes over to the garden bed. But I was trying to start them indoors. So I did Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, like cabbage. I literally did all of the brassicas. They got really leggy, and that just means like the stalks, after they germinated and they got their like little baby leaves, the stalks got really long, but like those stalks are weak and they kind of start to like tip over, they get floppy, it's just like a mess. So I think when I started them indoors, I didn't push the seeds down far enough, and so that's why that happened. I don't know, so those did not work out. The ones I spent like weeks starting indoors, they did not work out at all. It was unfortunate. So now I'm like at square zero again with fall fast approaching, and I really would love to figure out this brassica thing. I've got plenty of seeds. The seeds honestly aren't that expensive. So like if I can get an extra rep at planting brassicas, I think I ought to do that. All right, compost bucket's coming out. I guess we'll just dig a little well so I can plant some of these brassicas, because this is a perfect day. Also, if you're transplanting, this would be a really good day to transplant. It's overcast, it's cool, it's a little bit rainy. Those are the exact conditions that you want. Yeah, the rain's already kind of starting to come in. So this is golden acre cabbage is what we have here. This takes 60 to 70 days. The snowball improved cauliflower, 80 days, so that's probably very unlikely that that's gonna work. And then the purple Sicily cauliflower is 90 days. So you wanna plant them 2 feet apart. My mistake when I first planted these outside was that I overplanted them. So just be very careful of that, because these plants get really, really big. What you can do is plant a few more seeds if you think that they're not gonna grow. And then once they've germinated and they're kind of poking up through the soil, you can just pull the ones that are not doing as well to make room for the good ones. But that's always like a slippery slope, because you're like, oh, it's not doing well now, but like, what if this one that I think is doing well dies later? And it's like, da, 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 you know. So it's tempting to just leave them all there and see how it goes, and then it's too late. Like the plants are too stressed and you don't get anything out of them. So, and in this row here, these 4 squares, we had cucumbers in the beginning of the season, and the plants struggled a bit. They like didn't look very pretty, but they produced plenty of cucumbers. And the only reason I pulled them was just because they were looking a little raggedy, and I wanted to get okra down. And I had cucumbers in the in-ground garden back there, so I was like, okay, well, I think I'll be all right. And then we're just gonna give it a little sprinky dink of compost just to give us a little nutrition boost. I'm sure the okra will appreciate it too. All right, so that's that. I probably planted like 5 seeds from each package, and I still have plenty of seeds left, so there wasn't a whole lot of waste going on. But I also want to get some garden fencing to see if I can like kind of fence this area in, because the chickens are starting to get big and I think that they might need some more room, but I don't want to let them have free range of the yard, because they will 100% jump into these beds and destroy them. And I'm also worried that they might figure out how to get on top of the ford and then jump the fence, and we really don't want chickens in the neighbor's pool. So we just got back from Tractor Supply and Lowe's. That's where we went today. And I will show you the haul real fast. All of this is for the chickens. We have some big girl feed. We got some eggshells. No, I lied. Oyster shells. And then some mealworms in the handy dandy wagon. We have manure, 3 bags of topsoil, and then some mulch. And the mulch is actually for the sheep mulching over by the in-ground garden. But the manure and these bags of topsoil will go in this garden bed. I dug out the sweet potatoes yesterday, so she's looking bare. The flowers and the peppers, I think I'm gonna go ahead and dig up as well. and then I'll be able to reset this bed entirely. So I raked this area here just to kind of get everything even, but you can see how much the soil level dropped pretty considerably. It's actually like you don't have to reach down very far to touch the logs and pine cones and stuff in there that are kind of like that drainage and like organic matter layer. So it's definitely time to give this bed some more soil, and then we're just gonna let this bed rest. We're not gonna plant anything else in it for the fall. The tomatoes are very much still bumping, so we're gonna leave those. The okra's also still bumping. I harvested like 5 okra yesterday, so I'm really excited to cook those. And then earlier today, threw in the potatoes and then some brassicas into this back section. So we'll let this bed go a little bit longer. The soil level hasn't dropped as bad in this one. And then later on in the fall season, we'll do the same thing where we rip everything out and put in new soil and reset this bed. So chores that we have to do today: finish tearing out this bed, refill it, let it rest, and then put some soil and mulch over that entire area back there. The baby. And I guess the next step is to discard all of that organic matter that we pulled out of the garden, and I guess lay some soil down on the in-ground garden. I don't know if I want to commit it to this bed or commit it over there. I'm probably gonna need a shovel. I think I want to fence this whole area in. Have I said that yet? Have I told you guys? This whole back half of the yard, really want to fence it in. Don't know if I should. Tell me what you think in the comments. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some soil and we're gonna spread it into a layer. I think it'll help keep the cardboard in place too when it gets like windy and stuff. I'm gonna put this bag of mulch down. Even if that's not the final layer of mulch that we have, I think it'll be good to keep everything wet, because that's gonna be what helps break down the grass underneath, and then the cardboard as well. So let's get a little time lapse going so you guys don't have to watch me struggle for too long. And yeah, and we'll do the dang thing. I was thinking about a couple of things while I was doing that probably warrant some explaining. Number one, Jess, that man, it looks like he's back. Why ain't he out there helping you? Gardening's my hobby. He grew up on a farm, so he got a whole childhood worth of these types of chores. Number two, he just got back from the Army Reconnaissance and Surveillance Leaders course, RSLIC. If you're a vet or still in, you probably have heard of it. Anyway, he spent like 3 weeks just digging holes. So I don't think his idea of a good time when he's come home is to help me shovel dirt into, you know, the garden. And then reason number 3 is because he really missed Johnny, and it's actually very helpful for me that he's inside with the baby, so I'm not like constantly running back and forth to check if the baby's still sleeping, if he needs something, blah blah blah. I can just focus and do my thing out here while he hangs out with the baby and relaxes, because he definitely deserves it. He gets very frustrated with how slow I work. And I time lapse a lot of stuff, so you guys don't see like how painfully slow it is. But I just like, I'm just vibing. I'm just out here having a good time. This is my hobby. This is what I do for fun. So I'm like, I'm not rushing it. Like, I'm just taking my sweet time. And he's always like, you work so slow. And then like gets in and does it. And like half the time it's crazy. I had 4 cubic feet of soil to my name after I got done messing around with that in-ground garden bed. So I put the first 2 cubic feet down, and I was like, it's a really shitty like thin layer. I could half-ass the whole thing or whole-ass one side. So I decided to whole-ass one side. That's hardwood mulch, by the way, for my gardeners out there. The mulch is not like a full layer, like can't see any soil underneath like type of mulch. And I understand that. I'm obviously not planting anything here right now. So really what this mulch is going to end up becoming is organic matter that breaks down to help me build more soil, because I'm in North Carolina. I have sand underneath this grass. Essentially, I need to like build up instead of trying to like improve something that the good Lord made sandy. But yeah, so now I know I need 4 more cubic feet for the second half, and then, you know, another 2 cubic feet or whatever of hardwood mulch. So I'll probably go and knock that out this week, pick that stuff up, and then maybe get another 4 cubic feet for the garden bed as well. So you can see like some of it looks really good. Some of it is like an inch off of the top of the bed. And then some of it, oh boy, is like 3 inches off the top. So we definitely just need to keep layering this, but like I said, I'm not in a rush. This bed's not gonna have anything in it until next year. So we're just gonna keep letting it settle, and then I'll just keep slowly adding stuff in. What you might see on the next vlog is like finishing up the sheet mulching over there, and then probably gonna start like rearranging the enclosure that the chickens use to help turn stuff over, and probably putting like a little border on that garden, just because the borders really make it a lot easier to keep grass out and keep weeds out, and it just makes it a lot easier to weed because there's like a definitive edge and you're like, okay, nothing past like this freaking brick. So much easier to weed. So definitely suggest putting a border. And the border that we have currently, this was all like spare bricks and stuff, I think from when they made the patio before we bought the house. So we really haven't spent any money at all on putting a border in this in-ground garden, that berry bush over there, this berry bush over here, even though we need a weed whack, you can't really see the bricks, but they're there. And then the grapes also have a border, because I just like it for weeding purposes. And it kind of helps keep some of the mulch and stuff from like eroding really easily. So that is an added bonus for show. But yeah, so stay tuned, like and subscribe, keep watching my stuff. We're on this journey together, guys. You know what? And we're gonna make it. And we're gonna have a food forest back here in no time. See you next week.